Hello, happy Monday. I have got a Supa Scroll on deck for you today, but first, I need you all to stay tuned for the entirety of the show and hang on tight because Sean Farish Live debuts today, right after this show, right here on the Bongino Report channel at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You already know him. You already love him, and now he's officially a part of the Silverlock Bongino Report family, so break a leg to Sean, and I hope everyone gives him a warm welcome. I also hope that you subscribe to this show, tell a friend about this show, and that you support our sponsors like Earnhouse. Quick scroll break. If you're already spending a few spare minutes on your phone, here's one way that downtime could potentially earn you a little extra cash. This segment is sponsored by Earnhouse. It is free to join and connects you with paid survey opportunities from companies looking to pay you for your opinion. Before choosing a survey, you see the estimated time and dollar reward up front. You decide if it's worth your time. If you qualify and complete it, you can earn rewards redeemable for cash or choose from 100+ digital gift cards. So instead of giving every spare minute back to the scroll like I do, take a look at what Earnhouse may have available. Click the link in the description and get started now. Or go to earnhouse.com/scroll right now and create your free account. Again, that is earnhouse.com/scroll. That is EARNHAUS.com/scroll. Check it out now and see what paid opportunities you can qualify for. All right, put your phones on Do Not Disturb. The show starts now. This first video is just, it's a liberal who doesn't really understand the way that Republicans think. Again, I talked about this earlier on in the week. They don't really have a desire to understand what we think. They just come up with it in their own heads, and they're usually wrong. This person, again, they think they're getting us. They're not. She says, do Republicans, these mask obsessed, we hate the masks. Do we tell our surgeons to not wear masks? Watch.
When MAGA people go get surgery, do they ask their surgical team not to wear masks? Like, before the surgery starts, do you tell your surgeon, don't wear a mask? Don't have anybody in the OR wear a mask. It's okay if they cough all over me as you slice me open. It's fine. Masks don't work. Don't wear one. Is that what you tell your surgeon when you go to the hospital? I'm just curious, because you're so anti-masks.
Are we anti-masks in that way?
I forget the mask. I was going to say, I had a witty C95 joke and it just escapes me.
N95 joke.
Perfect. That's why it escaped me. I knew I was going to get the name wrong.
So there's a difference between what happened during COVID and then surgeons cutting people open on the table. We were told by the infallible, all-knowing, always perfect and heroic Dr. Fauci, jokes, of course. Sarcasm, of course. Excuse me. We're back. We were told by the perfect Dr. Fauci to wear masks. You, me, the average person. You're laughing at my sneeze.
You sneezing while talking about masks could not be funnier.
Us wearing masks, the average person, the podcaster. It's stupid, right? And then Dr. Fauci said, wear masks. And then he said, the paper ones don't work. You need N95s. You need the heavy duty, the surgical ones. Then after a while, he told the public not to wear N95s and that the paper ones were fine. So why the switch up? Was it the science? No, because they had an N95 shortage and needed those surgical masks for doctors and nurses. Whether you want to call that a mistake or a blatant lie or changing science, he led the American people astray because people started wearing crocheted masks, mesh masks, ineffective masks to check this Fauci box. So when conservatives are anti-mask, we're anti-lunacy. People were wearing masks in their cars. Taylor Lorenz of the Washington Post and New York Times and wherever the hell she works now, the Daily Beast, wherever, she still wears one when she leaves the house. The poor girl. Fauci caused mass mask hysteria. So would I want my surgeon to wear a mask to prevent his spit and germs from infecting me during surgery? Yes. Yes, he or she can wear a mask. Did I think it made a difference that people wearing masks on airplanes and then pulling their mask down to take bites of food? Not really. Did I think it made a whole lot of sense for restaurants to allow patrons to take their masks off at the table, but then require them to put them back on if they had to walk to the bathroom? No, I think those scenarios were ridiculous. And that's what we're talking about. I think surgeons performing surgery in a sterile environment is preferred. They did that before COVID, during COVID, after COVID, and they'll continue to do that because it's safe for the patients. She was getting ripped in the comment section, by the way. People were like, this isn't what you think it's doing.
Yeah, I prefer my surgeon to wear a mask. Like they have since the beginning of time. Yeah, I'll stick with that.
Would you guys prefer if I wore a mask on the show?
A couple of yeses from the back, apparently.
Rude.
Did you have a go-to mask?
No.
Fun fact, for my birthday, my now wife made all of my friends' masks with my picture on it.
That's nice. That's sweet.
It was cool till I had to wear one out in public, and somebody was like, is that
you
on, it was Maskception.
Yes, I like that. It's very meta. When I worked at Newsmax, they gave us Newsmax branded masks, and we had to wear them in the office. No one really did, but
Palm Beach County gave people the washable ones. That was like the best mask I had. It was a cloth one.
Okay, but were cloth masks doing anything? No.
I don't make the rules.
They were probably making people more sick. You were breathing in your own germs.
No doubt. I only wore it when we would leave the state because most places down here. But like I said, it was the best quality mask I got. It said like Palm Beach County on it. It was cool.
That's
Streets
cool.
loved it.
That's cool, I guess.
All right, go sneeze again.
My mom is very handy and she's very creative and she's very good with her sewing machine and stuff. She made me some masks to go with whatever holiday was coming up or something. She would make me a mask and send it to me.
Shouts out to all the mask drop shippers who are doing huge numbers during COVID.
It is it's just weird to think, looking back on that. I was actually going through my beach bag the other day, my beach bag that I used to wear. You know, I would bring it to the beach, obviously, or I would bring it to my pool area or my roof deck in my apartment in New York City. And I was going through it and I found an old mask. Like semi-recently, I found an old mask. It was pink and yellow tie-dye.
Choppers start going
cute.
off?
Yeah.
They give me the ick. I tossed all mine. I couldn't even...
I didn't know it was still there.
Jump scare.
Obviously, I saw it and I thought, oh, I definitely don't need this anymore. And I threw it out. But it is so weird to think about the fact that I was wearing masks. Like, I never believed in it. But living in New York, I told this story before. I was on a subway car by myself going to work, commuting, because no one else was working but me. And this cop came onto my subway car. I was on it alone. And he said, you have to put a mask on. And I'm thinking to myself, is this for real? And it was. It was real life. Thank goodness we're over that.
No doubt. I was working basketball camps, and there was an age cutoff for when you needed to wear masks.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so if you're 6 and under, no masks is fine. Second you turn 7, though, you better mask up.
I mean, I know that kids weren't dying from COVID necessarily. It was much less serious for the younger ones, which is why it was total insanity that they were forcing the vaccine on kids, because they weren't getting sick. They weren't getting, deathly ill or anything. But isn't it so arbitrary, the rules that they came up with?
No clue how they came up with that.
Oh, 6 years old? No, you're fine. You don't have to wear a mask. 7?
One kid's birthday was that week.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you turn 7 one day and all of a sudden you have to wear a mask. It's just so stupid. Like, the whole thing is stupid. These arbitrary rules, like, it was like the curfews. I was living in New York City, like I said, and it was like 10 p.m. You got to be at home. What difference does it make? They thought it was just reducing the amount of time that people were out socializing. Like, how much of a difference was that really going to make? You could have gotten sick an hour earlier.
I think this conversation we're having now proves the point that her making that comment is not doing what she thinks it's doing.
We're still mad, and you didn't change our minds. So, yeah, surgeons, you can wear masks. Everyone else, don't do it. Don't fall for it. Not that anyone is still falling for it other than Taylor Lorenz, but anyway, moving on. This next video says that there's a new trend on the rise, and it's stay-at-home boyfriends. Watch.
Tragic trend for some women. The rise of the stay-at-home boyfriend.
What?
That's what I said.
No.
Yes.
Not real.
More and more, due to changing economic factors, Gen Z women are financially supporting the men in their life. Federal Reserve data show over the last 12 months, the number of jobs held by men fell by 142,000. Women gained 298,000 jobs. Indeed's hiring lab found 1.2 million jobs were added between February 2024 and February 2026, and 2/3 of those jobs went to women. So if you listen to Destiny's Child, ladies, leave your man at home. Probably because he can't afford a night out.
Because there's also the old school, ain't nothing going on but the rent. Got to have the
Gotta have a
J-O-B if you want to be with
It's
me.
a no for me, dog. It's so
Really?
hard out here.
Is
Yes,
it hard? You are a
it is.
beautiful, successful woman.
Single woman. Because, you know what I have found, and don't send me the emails. Nine times out of 10, a man is intimidated by a woman that works, that has more money than them. And so, but then there's this new generation of men that are looking for a sugar mama.
No.
They're looking for a lady to take care of them. And they want to be kind of like, look, the men in here are all,
They're all like,
human.
no, because
Nose is
Kelly and I
fine.
have been talking about this for a project that we're working on. And I was saying to her that, like, look, my wife has 7 Emmys. She has 2 Peabodys.
You're rare.
You're on an
You're
island.
a rare
Thank you.
breed.
Give it to him.
Why? Why am I rare?
Because when I would go out and I would say where I went to school or where I worked, all of a sudden it would be like, oh, do you think you're better than me? I'm like, what? People cannot handle that. They want to say all the nice things. Oh yeah, I want a woman who can take care of me. Absolutely not. I also think we've taught this next generation of young men that it's like you have to tiptoe around things, and they're like, oh, screw it. You want to take care of me?
And you know what it said when I read this article as well, is that the jobs that are gaining right now in this in life are jobs that are female centered. So it's healthcare, like health sciences, those type of things. And the jobs that are falling are kind of men centered, AI, tech, all of the
Finance.
finance, all this, that AI is kind of doing more in those fields. So that is why there's really this change in the workforce, but also that more young men are moving back home with their parents and living.
Which is also bizarre to me.
It's all bizarre to me. You said you had a theory about this?
I think my theory is there are more guys living at home, and these girls are girl bossing so hard, and then they meet these guys that live at home, and the guy just says, a pretty good gig. I think everybody would prefer to stay at home naturally. And the girl boss says, I'm a girl boss. I got you, boo. And the next thing you know, you've got a stay-at-home boyfriend.
They say that this is a Gen Z trend. I don't know. I feel like Gen Z was trending more conservative. Obviously, there's going to be liberals and conservatives in a generation. You can't generalize. But I thought that the Gen Zers were more conservative than ever before. Gen Alpha more conservative than ever before. They were going to church. You would think that traditional relationships would be making a comeback. But then you see that there are more women going to college than men now, which doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be more successful. You can be very successful and not go to college. You can also be saddled with student loan debt if you go to college, and that puts you behind. So this says, and I asked Grok what the deal is with this. What's the deal with the stay-at-home boyfriends? This is what it says. As of early 2026, women held more U.S. payroll jobs than men. This is the third time this has occurred, previously during the Great Recession and just before COVID. So what does that mean? That means we're going to go through something catastrophic again? Like, what could possibly happen to us now? Millennials have been through hell and back. We've been through everything.
Maybe nothing. Maybe this just means all guys get sugar mamas, I guess.
I was born in the wrong generation. Let me tell you that. I ain't bankrolling a boy.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I am not doing that.
Like I said, I think these guys meet girl boss women who find power in bankrolling them, and the guy just says, I gotta stay home, play video games. We're dumb boys. We're just...
Woo! Woo! It says, on average and at the median, because I want to, people talk about the gender pay gap and things like that. Like, is that really legitimate? It says on average at the median, men in the United States still earn more than women. The latest official data from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics says that in the second quarter of 2026, among full-time wage and salary workers, men's median weekly earnings were $1,380. Women's median weekly earnings were $1,131. So men are making more money, but it's really pretty minuscule difference. Also, I think this is because women tend to gravitate towards lower paying jobs, not necessarily because they're being discriminated against based on their sex, but like she said in that video, men are doing tech and AI jobs, women are doing more healthcare jobs and things like that. Education, psychology, whatnot, these require more degrees. So you have more student loan debt and you're probably gotta work a lot harder and longer to make that back. So I think women who go into these careers, they've got an uphill battle ahead of them. They really can't stop working because they have to make their education worth it and their degree worth it. So then even if they meet a man who makes less money than them, they're kind of forced to keep going in the workforce because they've put so much time and energy and money into it. They've invested so much into their career, they can't just dump it. So then they have this man at home who makes less money. Then they decide to get married, have kids. And well, who's going to stay home? The guy who makes less money or the woman who's bringing in, she's the breadwinner. So I can understand how this happens. Also, I've said this on the show before, but my friends make more money than their husbands. I only have one friend who's a stay-at-home mom. I know two stay-at-home moms. That's wild. The vast majority of my friends make more money than their husbands. So it doesn't make sense for them to stay at home because they'd be losing out on a lot of money. And I think a lot of women who make a certain amount of money, if they were to stay home, they want their husband to make what they make and then some, you know? Because then it doesn't make sense to not work anymore, especially if you're adding a child into that and that's diapers and formula and whatever else you have to buy with a kid, which is a lot. It doesn't make sense to pay for childcare. So if the man's making less money, you stay home now. But I would resent the F out of a man who stayed home with my babies. I would want to stay home. I birthed those babies. So my question to you as the man, do you think, and again, this is stay-at-home boyfriends, not dads. Everything that I just said, that's a man staying home with the baby because it just makes more financial sense. These men are not staying home with babies. They're just stay-at-home boyfriends. So my question is, do men want this? You said that everyone wants to stay at home. Would you feel manly if you were a stay-at-home boyfriend? Not a stay-at-home dad, stay-at-home boyfriend. Your girlfriend or wife is the one working and you're like, thanks, boo.
You're asking an adult who has been shaped by a very great woman who has helped me accomplish dreams and passions and all. If you would have asked me,
she is great.
Yeah, if you would have asked me as a 22-year-old young man and was like, "Hey, you're going to date this woman," and she said she's going to bankroll your lifestyle while she goes and works. That's a tough offer.
Right. That's what women...
Truthfully, that would be a tough offer.
That's what women want, and now they can't get that because people can't afford to be stay-at-home moms, essentially.
Correct. I think that if you give somebody the opportunity to not work, the person's choosing not work, especially if you're giving them the means to not work.
Right. I think you can't, if you're a stay-at-home boyfriend, you got to do something with your life, though. You can't just be a bum. Because then I wouldn't respect you at all. You'd have to be working on something, building a business, volunteering.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying. I think these women are bankrolling these guys. And if they are resenting them, they're not saying that. And so the guy's going, this is great. Stay home, play Call of Duty. I'm a good boyfriend. I'm assuming they're a pretty decent boyfriend, maybe, hopefully. It's fueling the flames, if you will.
It really is bizarre. It's also, if we're talking about this in terms of stay-at-home dads, not just stay-at-home boyfriends, but stay-at-home dads, there really is only so much a dad can do if you have a breastfeeding child. If your baby is breastfeeding, that baby needs the mom. There's no way for the dad to step in unless you're pumping and whatever. Like, obviously there's ways for the dad to feed, but
I don't think I know a stay-at-home dad. I do know a lot of stay-at-home moms, but they moved to places where they could afford to be stay-at-home moms and made very large, life-changing relocations across the country
To make it work.
And the husbands, they, the lady encourages the husband to go get a higher paying job
Right.
in another state so we can, and that's what they did. So
Right.
kudos to them. And it takes
a sacrifice to
takes
get
a
that.
sacrifice, but I think it also falls a little bit on the woman to say, hey, this is my expectation, and encourage the man to do
Yeah.
it. I mean, there have been things where turns like, hey, you could totally do this. I'm like, you're right. I could totally do this.
Right.
I'm just a dumb boy. I'm doing my best.
You're not a dumb boy. But yeah, I understand that. It also seems like the same way. So I've heard guys say before, I want to be a stay-at-home dad. And I think some of them are just sort of joking in the way that, to your point, who doesn't want to just stay at home? But I think guys think that staying at home is like fun and easy, where they're working and the women at home are just, doing nothing. When in reality, there's a lot of work that gets done at home that the guy probably has no idea is getting done at all.
You see it in these sitcoms where I feel like there's an episode in every single show where the person that stays at home
Gives
and the
up.
person that works, they don't see eye to eye, and there's this huge, big moment. So you do have to communicate, hey, I'm not just laying around. But my understanding is these boyfriends are sitting at home playing Call of Duty while girl boss goes and works a high-paying marketing job at a cool firm, and
Right.
they're just hanging out.
I will say, because obviously I'm by myself now and I'm working because, what are my options if I don't want to work? I could be homeless, I guess. I don't want to do that. So, okay, I have to work. But I find keeping up with the household chores and working is tough for me. I find that once I'm finished with my work for the day, sometimes I finish the show and it's like 10 p.m. I'm tired. I don't really want to clean my kitchen, but I don't want to go to bed with dirty dishes and all these things. So I'm staying up later than I want to get these household chores done. It's very difficult to do both. So I think if you have a working mom and a working dad, you kind of do have to split some of the household chores. It shouldn't just fall on one person, because if the breadwinning isn't falling on one person, then neither should the household chores, because it's very hard to get everything done.
Well, and you kind of work yourself into a little bit of a hole, because then you're both working, so you probably get a house cleaner,
right,
or a nanny, a live-in nanny, and then you have kids, and you're going, well, geez, how are we going to have a kid and do the stuff that we now can't afford because one of us has to stop working? It's kind of a vicious cycle a little bit.
And again, it's just me. So I do my laundry once a week. And, if I leave a dish in the sink, it's not the biggest deal. I live by myself. I'm only letting myself down. But I'm not using that many dishes. It's just me. So it's one dish in the sink, rather than, could you imagine if I'm a working mom and my husband's working and we have 3 kids? Imagine the laundry and dishes then. That's very difficult for one person to take on all by themselves. So anyway, I don't know the answer. I just think if I had a stay-at-home boyfriend, I would resent his ass. We were going to talk about this, I forget when, but it came up. There's this influencer. Her name is Jen Hamilton, and she's a nurse. She's got 1 million or 2 million plus followers on TikTok and whatever. Doesn't matter. If you don't know her, it doesn't matter. She just revealed to everyone that she's getting divorced because her husband was a stay-at-home dad, and he came to her and said, I'm struggling mentally or something. And she said, okay, well, I have 2 jobs. I've got the income from social media and I'm a nurse. So she's working, 12-hour shifts as a nurse does. And then she's bringing in money influencing so she can afford to have the husband stay at home. They had 2 kids. And he was one of those guys that maybe he was taking care of the kids. I don't know how much she's doing versus him. I'm not a fly on the wall in their house. I don't know how they're splitting up chores or whatnot. But he had a lot of extra time to go find a much older woman to cheat on Jen Hamilton with. And here's the thing. This happens to men, right? Their wife is at home. She's got all the time in the world to go cheat on him. I'm not saying this is gender specific. This can happen to anyone. But there's something that makes it a little more cringe that this guy's like, yeah, I'm mentally ill. Man, I'm sad. I want to stay home. Can you let me stay home? And then this woman is like, sure, babe, I'm working 2 jobs. You stay home. and then he's going on and cheating on the woman that's bankrolling his lifestyle. Again, I think cheating's wrong in any circumstance. It doesn't matter who does it, man, woman, doesn't matter. I think you're a piece of shit. But it would make me much more angry if I was the woman bankrolling my stay-at-home husband and then he was going and cheating on me. No. Anyway, moving on. This is a new business venture that I didn't think that there was a market for, but I guess that there is. This is if you plan a wedding and people don't show up to said wedding, you can fill those seats with paid wedding crashers. Watch.
People are going to cancel the week of your wedding. I'm really sorry. It sucked.
Hey, Julia, you're right. Last-minute cancellations do suck, and they happen all the time.
At Not a Wedding Crasher, we help couples fill seats with verified guests that want to be there and make a monetary contribution to attend.
If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, come check us out at Not a Wedding Crasher.
Come check us out.
Not a wedding crasher, but you are sort of an official wedding crasher.
The only person this caters to is somebody who doesn't want to have the thought of having an empty seat at your wedding is embarrassing.
But here's the thing. If someone cancels the day of your wedding, can't you tell the venue, hey, we don't need...
No, you prepay for those meals.
They have to put...
Yes.
They're contractually obligated to put the steak on the table?
I'll be honest, we probably lost $1,000, $1,200.
But I'm saying I understand that you are obligated to pay them, but they have to put the seats out.
I mean, yeah, they day of, they're not going to tuck the seat away. There's 12 seats at every table. That's why I'm saying the only people this caters to is somebody who says, oh, I want no empty seats. I don't care who's there. We did have a special group of people who were fill-ins. We're like, hey, we didn't invite you to the wedding, but we're close enough friends with you. We had a smaller wedding. And we said, hey, if somebody doesn't come, we'd love for you to be there. We just, numbers wise, it's not going to work. And that was the kind of friend that like, clearly we weren't comfortable enough to invite them first tier. So they weren't uncomfortable knowing that.
Right. But were they comfortable then accepting the pity invite?
I don't remember. It's all kind of a blur. I was more focused on marrying the love of my life.
Right. As you should.
Yeah. But I do know that we had some people cancel last minute. It happens.
So would you be interested in hiring random people?
No, I just take the L. Now, if it was a lot, but then again, that's on you for inviting scumbags to your wedding.
I guess. I think if you're not showing up to a wedding day of, there's something catastrophic that happened. You either got very sick or I just went to a bridal shower recently, and a bridal shower is not that big of a deal to not show up to. I mean, obviously it's rude to not show up, but one of my very good friends was very sick. Couldn't come. Okay, no big deal. There's an empty seat. No big deal. But I don't understand why. I understand paying for a certain amount, but you have to put it's like, oh, no one's at this table, but here's a steak.
Yeah. They don't do that. They just count it as a loss.
Right.
Yeah, they don't.
I can get that.
They don't put the food out.
So you go.
No, I'm just saying. I'm assuming it's the people that can't stand the idea that somebody would think they wouldn't show up to my wedding.
Right. And then these people are so concerned with how they look that they would have random people wanting to show up to their wedding. And this is how this business venture works. You tell them, not a wedding crasher, that, hey, we've got 3 extra seats at our wedding. Fill them. And random people who don't know you are going to pay for their head at a wedding, which is how much does that cost? $150, $200, $250? Yeah, they have to pay.
They pay the head.
Yes.
There's no...
They're paying to go to a random wedding. I thought if it's for free and you're looking for something fun to do and it's like, this is an open bar, let's just go.
This changes everyththing. That was my understanding. Now I'm going, okay, so I have to pay $250, let's say on average, $250 per plate. It's a cool venue, maybe, and I'm bored and single. Maybe I'm looking for love. Maybe I'm looking for what better place to find love than at a wedding. Then you have to meet cousin Annie and say,
hey, how do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, how do you know the bride or groom? I don't. I'm single and I'm really sad and I was bored and I had nothing to do tonight, so I paid $250 to sit here.
Steak was a little dry. Probably could have gone somewhere else for $250.
That's what I mean. Of all the places that you could go as a single to meet someone, you're going to go to a random person's wedding? Have you ever been to a wedding alone before?
Yes, but I think I was in it, so it doesn't count.
Okay. I was invited to a wedding and I went. I was very happy to go. But I ended up breaking up with the person that I was supposed to go with. So I went by myself and I didn't know anyone except for the bride and the groom. And I still decided to go. But again, it's finding a seat at the reception. Finding a seat at the ceremony by yourself. And then again, it's like you kind of mess up the seat. I don't know. I just felt very awkward.
No, that is awkward.
Weddings are very coupley.
For sure.
So when you're the odd person out, you very much feel that way. It makes you hyper aware of how single you are because you're just staring around at everyone has someone and you're like, anyway, so I went to the wedding. I ended up getting seated next to a girl who was also single and didn't know anyone, I guess, or maybe she knew more people, and we ended up chatting and having fun. And I totally made the best of the situation, but it's not ideal. I don't really love, I'm going to be honest.
Weddings are tough.
I've only brought a date to a wedding once, and I don't really even love bringing a date to a wedding. Like, I was just given a +1 to my friend's wedding. I'm the maid of honor. I'm not bringing anyone. First of all, I don't have anyone to bring. But second of all, especially when you have a job like that where I'm giving a speech, I'm going to be in hair and makeup, I'm going to be taking pictures, I'm going to be, I can't babysit someone. So it's a non-starter for me.
Hey, Hayley, great speech. Your wedding date is dipping his fingers in the chocolate fountain. If you wouldn't mind going and say something real quick.
I would never bring anyone like that. I wouldn't date anyone like that. But that's the thing. I don't need to bring someone, but it would be nicer if I was actually in a relationship with someone. I don't know.
I guess if they're buying the seat, and let's say you want to make money's tight, I could see at least you're not losing money, but you'd have to be pretty desperate. I thought they just came as seat fillers. I didn't realize they were buying that ticket to the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of changes the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would do it, but I could definitely see people not wanting to waste money at a wedding.
They said that they're saying that this is like a fun date night idea for couples, that this is something that, you didn't have any plans.
If you're very outgoing and love judging people, I could see how this would be really fun. Maybe in New York, but not.
And you're bringing a date, so you're dropping $400, $500 on date night to get kind of shitty food.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I've only been to a couple weddings where I walked away going, wow, they really knocked it out of the park on that food.
I shouldn't say never. I have a few friends that they're very wealthy. They went all out for their weddings and the food was incredible. But I've never been like, wow, that was the best meal of my life. And I know that they're paying a premium for okay steak. And that kind of pains me a little bit.
Yeah. Most of my friends all got married early too, so we were just doing our best to get by. So it was a lot of like buffets and stuff and DIY action as you do, getting married young. I couldn't imagine somebody paying to go to those.
I went to a wedding once and it was a buffet, and each table is going up table by table to get their food or whatever. We all sit down. They're already cleaning up. It was like
happens to the best of us.
You get your food, and I remember seeing the face, all the men in the wedding, like their faces just dropped, like we can't get seconds. And that buffet was gone before you know it. Like snap of a finger, nope, no more food. I had guys being like, "You're not going to finish that, right? You're not going to finish that, right?" You don't want to go to a wedding where people are leaving hungry.
Yeah, it happens. You got to have servers. Can't let people serve themselves. You're running out of food.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Got to have somebody making sure you're portioning that stuff out.
Ugh.
Haven't quite had that happen. I haven't had any just abysmal weddings, thankfully.
I've never been to an abysmal wedding.
So most of my friends did really good for making it work.
Yeah. I think at this point in my life, I would just do a church thing and then call it a day. Maybe go to dinner or something.
I was in a bridal party where I got assigned my bridesmaid, and she sighed very audibly loud and seemed not interested in me.
Oh, like walking down the aisle. I hate that. So I've been a bridesmaid before where they like link you up with some other groomsman dude that you've never seen before, and you have to like link arms going down the aisle. Like, who is that? Why am I walking down the aisle with Greg? Who is this?
They gave her one person, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's actually him." And she was so visibly and audibly disappointed.
She must have had a crush on someone else in the bridal groomsman party or whatever bridal party.
I think about it, not because it crushed my ego or anything, just how funny it was. Sure. So funny. Oh.
Yeah, that's brutal. I always thought that was weird. I don't like walking down the aisle with someone else. And then you get the weird reality that these people are in relationships with other people. And then it's like, why is my boyfriend walking down the aisle with Susan?
somebody's wife. Hey.
It's just weird.
Pleasure to meet ya.
There are some wedding traditions that I just don't understand. I don't understand the garter toss. I don't understand the flower toss, bouquet toss. The whole thing is crazy. My friend got married. This was maybe 2 years ago now. She said, I really want you to catch the bouquet. Because, the saying goes, whoever catches the bouquet is getting married next. And, I'm like perpetually single. So I'm like, okay. So I said, no, I do not want to be a part of, I don't want to be a part of this. Truly, I think it's so demeaning. All the single ladies who aren't married yet here catch this thing. And then all these women are fighting over it. It's like so embarrassing. Not my style. So if I ever get married, like I'm doing away with a lot of these traditions. I think they're stupid. And I've been in enough weddings to know like some of this stuff we can do without. You can do it without favors. Favors. No one needs cookies.
People will prefer a goodbye treat over a goodbye, whatever you're going to give them.
Agreed. I take it back about the goodbye cookies. I'll always take a cookie. However, when it's a koozie with the couple's name on it. I've gotten tumblers, like cups, mugs with the couple. I don't want this. You're the only person that wants to remember this day. No offense. I don't need your initials on a mug.
Again, my friends kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, kind of knocked it. Some had pretzels. One had a French fry bar on the way out. And then one had Ginny's ice cream. That one rocked.
I'm notorious for missing the food at the end of the night, when I probably need it most and I didn't even like the food, but I am nowhere to be found. Whenever the cake comes out, whenever the food's being passed on the dance floor, I am missing it. Probably because I'm having a blast and I'm more focused on filling my tequila soda than I am eating. But I'm always like, oh, dang, the wedding's over. I could really use some food and I missed it all. So I'm known for that. That's my go-to. Anyway, when did we play this? Do we have the skinny girl video?
Of course.
To throw back? Okay. If you watch the show every day, which you should, you've seen this video before. If you haven't, here's a little throwback video.
Just walked into the grocery store and would you look at this? One of the most fat-phobic brands to ever exist. And again, it's okay to have these types of options, but it's not okay to perpetuate and profit off of fat phobia.
Okay. So we covered this a few weeks ago or a few days ago, whatever it was. And a very, very large woman is mad that Bethany Frankel, Real Housewife of New York, had a skinny girl brand of salad dressing. She says, these products should exist, but you shouldn't be able to profit off of them, which doesn't make any sense. But I'm scrolling on TikTok and I'm like, is this the same girl? It is. Fat Phobia Girl is rapping now. Cover your ears.
Tuesday. You tried to be choosy. Now you got yourself in a doozy. And for your headquarters, it's doomsday. Ooh, without them plus sizes, you couldn't make no money, took out them plus sizes. Cause you was trying to be funny, but baby, that's why your stores are closing. When really all you had to do was make plus size clothing. Baba. I don't know why people keep playing with me, bruh. Like I ain't bought nothing. Like I ain't gonna say nothing. They scared. They ain't never seen this before. Remember, I'm the pretty bitch who got a daddy from the ninth ward. I'm the pretty bitch who got a daddy from the ninth ward. Didn't think I do it. Didn't think I talk about you. Do you think I'm stupid? Have me at your office, send me flowers, that's amusing. So not only listen when I put it in, I'm using power to a power who would always get the upper hand. Never on the bottom, I am always in demand. Pushing on a throttle, I am always in command. Switch it to Legato, you should thank me in advance. I am always the one who is changing the culture, but all of the credit, it goes to the vultures. Like you know that one girl who dropped her collection while she texts my phone asking me for direction. I gave it to her, but never got a check. They never
rapping about being fat because you're not allowed to profit off of fat phobia, but she's allowed to profit off of being obese.
But she changed the flow up mid-track. She kind of had bars.
You're a fan? What are these lyrics? Can we play just the beginning? Fat Tuesday is what she comes out the gate with. Something about Fat Tuesday, and then I think she's making up words. What is this song called? I think her name's Samira.
Samyra. I'll play it one more time.
Happy Fat Tuesday. You tried to be choosy. Now you got yourself in a doozy. And
what does that
your
mean?
Headquarters is Tuesday.
You got yourself in a doozy?
You couldn't make no money, took out them plus sizes. Cause you was trying to be funny, but baby, that's why your stores are closing. When really all you had to do was make
you tried to be
clothing.
Okay, I can't hear this anymore. Sorry. Okay, so the song is called Forever 20 Done by Samira. This came out in March 11th, 2025. This is a year old. I don't know. She's being made fun of for it on TikTok right now. So, happy Fat Tuesday. You tried to be choosy. Now you got yourself in a doozy. And for your headquarters, it's doomsday.
She did realize Forever 21 had put themselves out of business. She didn't need to add on to this.
Without them plus sizes, you couldn't make no money. Took out them plus sizes because you was trying to be funny. That's why your stores are closing. So this is all about 21, Forever 21 clothing. Forever 21 closing because they weren't clothing fat people?
I don't know. I think Forever 21 was closing because you'd go to buy a jean jacket and the back would be bedazzled with Go Babe or something.
Yes, exactly.
Do you like these pants? Well, the pockets are hot Cheeto packets. Congrats.
Literally, what the heck? It's like, why is there an alien head on this shirt? Like, it looks totally normal from the front. Turn it around. It's like, oh, that's not cute anymore.
The quality was always so weird too.
Horrible.
Because I would have a pair of Forever 21 jeans that would last the eternity of my entire life, and then would get a t-shirt and it would unravel in the wash.
Yeah.
And it would 100% have a rainbow that said, "You're cool" on the front for no reason.
It's just horrible. Anyway, rest in peace, Forever 21. Rest in peace, Spirit Airlines. What else? What else has gone out of business?
Rest in peace everything here.
But yeah, I had to see this video, so you guys had to see it as well. I just figured, it was a good little cherry to put on top of my fat phobia cake for all of you. This next video is just, I thought it was cute. This little boy was missing his baby brother.
What's wrong?
I miss my baby brother so much.
Come on, baby.
The baby brother is cat. The baby brother is pet cat. He just missed his cat at school. We all get it. We miss our pets when we're at work or at school. I totally understand. He misses his little fuzzy brother. All right, this is another fuzzy animal video. This is a meerkat getting a bath. Very cute noises. Getting absolutely covered in soap. Head to toe. A dollop of shampoo on the head.
Can you domesticate a meerkat?
Yes. Seems to love bath time.
Look at that smile.
I thought this was so cute. I don't know why. I saw this video. I'm like, I have to play this on the show. It's so stupid. I know it's like a Friday-esque dumb throwaway video, but I just thought it was so cute. The little dollop of pink shampoo on the meerkat's head. For a second, I think it had its tongue out. It was like, just happy as a clam. Nothing like getting a fresh bath when you're a meerkat. I wouldn't know, but it seems lovely. Absolutely lovely. All right. They say man's best friend is a dog, right? So this guy has a bunch of dogs, and he decided to put them to the test and put a fake dummy in the pool and see which dog would rescue him. Watch. There's the mannequin, face down in the pool. Drowning, sad. Who's gonna help? The husky comes first. Doesn't seem to be helping. Sniffing. Sniffing and barking, husky runs away. No help. Second husky comes in. No help. Laying down. Golden retriever. He looks like he's attempting to do something. Is he afraid of the water? Oh, no. Here he is. Oh. Got to the drowning body and then turned around. Here's baby golden retriever. He doesn't know what to do. Okay, I think this is the last dog here. Oh, jumps right in. His name is Bauer. Bauer to the rescue. He gets the mannequin out of the pool. Then he takes a little too far. Head of the mannequin is off. Now he's running away with the head. Now he's drowning the head on its own. I thought that this was cute. He can only really count on... Actually, he can count on none of his dogs to help.
I was Team Bauer till it ripped his head off.
I was too. I was like, oh, Bauer, good boy. And then all of a sudden, Bauer was like, I'm going to rip you limb from limb. So, I don't know. Would you rather drown or be ripped limb from limb by your dog? I don't know. Both seem kind of shitty. They do say that if you die, your cat is more willing to eat you to stay alive than your dog would. So people say that dogs are more loyal because they wouldn't eat their own humans. But I wouldn't mind if I died in my apartment and Birdie was hungry, and she is always hungry. She could eat me. I would have no problem with that. I'm not alive, so if she needs to eat me... First of all, Birdie would eat me in one sitting. Birdie does not know how to stop eating. She's very food motivated, and she's got a big old tummy. Like she needs to get on a diet. I need to put her on a diet. But if I died and she was eating me, she wouldn't know when to stop. I don't think.
A new definition for organ donor.
Yeah, Birdie would love that. Birdie would love that. Okay, we're getting into an Am I the A-hole type segment. But first, we've got two videos. So this person got pulled over. He was in a self-driving mode of his Tesla. He gets pulled over. He says it's the Tesla's fault. Watch.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
A little fast.
I wasn't driving. That's a self-driving autopilot, sir.
You're in charge, though, so I need to see your driver's license.
I'm in charge, but I wasn't driving, so
doesn't matter.
Like
you're in the driver's seat. You can blame the car all you want, but
how can we sort out this problem, sir? I wasn't.
Do you have a driver's license?
I do, sir.
The car doesn't have a driver's license. I need to see your driver's license.
But I can't get anything involved because this wasn't me, sir.
Sir, I need to see your driver's license.
Yes, I can give you driver's license.
Okay.
First of all, I'm just...
No, not first of all. The first thing I need to see is your driver's license. That's the number one thing. All right, sir. I did write you a ticket for speeding, 64 and a 45. I'm not sure how this whole thing works, but it's not the first person I've stopped that's been an autopilot. I don't know why they decided to speed, but there's no way the speed limit here is 65 or whatever it thought it was. It's only 45.
So, is this happen? You're telling me that this is not the first time that you pull over with the Tesla?
Yes.
So how do you figure out in the court?
How I figure out what?
How do you figure out in the court? When you talk to the judge or when I'm talking to the judge, how I'm going to figure out? I wasn't driving.
It doesn't matter. You're completely in charge of the car. You were driving.
No, sir. I was here.
You're missing the point. You are driving.
I'm not driving. This is a self-driving, and I was sitting here.
Sir, whether you turn it over to the car doesn't matter. You're still driving. You can say the car's driving as all you want. The judge is not going to play that game. You were driving. If you choose to trust the car...
I need to see your supervisor, please.
Sir, this is your ticket. On the bottom is a complaint number. If you want to talk to my...
I just want to speak with this.
Well, this is your copy. Do you want your driver's license back?
So you can't aggress me like that.
Sir, do you want your driver's license back?
I want to get my driver's license, but I need to speak for your supervisor.
You can, like I said, you can give him a call.
No, I can't. I need your supervisor right now.
You want me to call him here?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell him that you want him here. I'll see what he says. So all the supervisors are busy. If you want to sit here and wait, you can. There's a court date on the ticket.
You will be here, and then he will be come here because I got every recording right here. This is how you respond to me. This is how you rude to me. This
How
is
am I rude to you?
So listen, sir. With due all respect, I'm a good citizen. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm a zero criminal. You treat me like that hole like this. I am.
I didn't treat you like a
No,
I
no,
gave
no.
you a
You
ticket.
dropped. I have a witness. This is a witness. She got a witness. You draw me like this. You want to see your driver license? That's not acceptable, sir. I'm a good citizen, okay? You cannot treat me like this good citizen.
Are you going to sit here and wait for the supervisor?
No, I want your supervisor right now, and then you will be here. Because I went to
I'm
point the
leaving.
freeway.
I'm leaving. Goodbye. I'm leaving.
The cop's like, whatever, bro. First of all, this is what not to do at a traffic stop 101.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about police officers, but I don't think they enjoy being berated.
Yelled at. And he's clearly in the wrong. He's trying to fight this case in court right then and there.
Yeah, wrong location. You might have a case, my guy, but right here, you do not.
Exactly. Grab the ticket and then go fight it in court. Don't fight with the cop that's pulling you over. God bless this police officer. I would freak out. I don't know how they remain calm. I could never be a police officer. I can't. I don't have it in
The thought
me.
of you being a police officer, fisticuffs immediately.
I'd be so annoyed. These people they don't know how to act. I don't understand. You get pulled over 10 and 2. They ask for your driver's license. You go grab it. What is the point of fighting? He's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I was sitting here, but I wasn't driving. Well, you're in charge of the car. You see it speeding. Don't put it into turbo mode or whatever the hell it's called. Go drive the speed limit or speed and face the consequences.
It's got to be a computer issue. They must have just changed that speed limit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay, so my ruling is that the driver's the a-hole, of course. Now, this is another Am I the A-hole segment, also wedding related. And this is about where the vegans sit at the wedding.
Am I the asshole for seating all of the vegans at one table at my wedding reception? My wife and I got married a couple weeks ago. It wasn't a huge wedding. We had about 75 guests. During the planning, a handful of my wife's family members asked us about dinner options because they are vegan. None of my family members are vegan, but we wanted to make sure that everyone had good food to eat. At that point, we hadn't talked with the caterer yet, but my wife assured them we would offer vegan options for them. We found a caterer that offered delicious vegan food. We tasted it. Very good. When we were planning the seating chart, my wife mentioned that one of her cousins said that she can't be seated at a table where meat is served. I asked a few questions about it, but my wife got frustrated with me, so I dropped it. But accommodating this was difficult, and eventually I got frustrated too and told my wife that if her cousin is going to be so militaristically vegan about this, then we were just going to seat all the vegans at one table, even if it meant splitting up families and friends. After a few more discussions and my wife talking to her cousin again, my wife eventually relented to my idea of having a vegan table. We put that part of the planning behind us and moved on. I literally didn't even think about it again until we started setting things up for the reception. My wife's mom noticed that some of the families weren't sitting at the same table and asked about it. I told her that we had to sit all of the vegans at one table because of my wife's cousin. My mother-in-law got mad at me about this and said it's rude to have family members sitting at different tables and to have one table basically segregating the vegans from the rest of the guests. I told her that unless wife's cousin wanted to sit at a table all by herself, this is the solution we came up with and we aren't going to change it now. Mother-in-law dropped it, but I could tell she wasn't happy. The ceremony went off perfectly, but when it came time for the reception, there were grumblings about the vegan table from my wife's family. While we were going around talking to people, a few of the vegans made comments about how they don't appreciate being singled out and separated from everyone else. I tried to be polite about it, but the fact that they thought bringing this sort of thing up to me on my wedding day was appropriate really started to rub me the wrong way. When my wife's cousin, the one who refused to sit at a table with meat, said something to me about it, I told her that we did it because of her, and the next time someone asks me about it, I'm going to tell them to talk to her about why we had a separate vegan table. She told me I was being discriminatory against vegans, and I just turned and walked away. I wasn't going to put up with that BS any more than I already had. It's apparently still a thing within my wife's family, and she feels I should have been more willing to find a different solution. Am I the asshole?
I hate vegans after hearing this story. This is so frustrating. You've got one person, you're making this decision for one person who says that they can't be around other food. Okay, so then this is the solution.
Yeah, you hit her with the, sorry, we can't make that accommodation. You can take a plate and go sit in the back with the staff, or
well, there's gonna be other food back there. Her issue is she doesn't want to
How does she eat? I mean, I know you don't know the answer, but
this is someone who's just very difficult. I can understand if you have allergies or something like that. I get it. You can't make your issues everyone else's issue, though.
Veganism is not an issue. It's totally optional. You can be allergic and be a vegetarian, but veganism is not an allergy ever.
Right.
So
unless you have what's the Lone Star
There's the
tick?
one thing, but I think you're so disappointed you can't have meat anymore. You put up with it.
Well, yeah, and it's again, it's not really an allergy. Well, you wouldn't go into anaphylactic shock if there was someone eating meat next to you. It's only if you ingest it, right? So, yeah, this person's just annoying.
Tell her to kick rocks and don't come if you don't want to. If you want to sit alone, I'm not entertaining that. It's my wedding. Go away.
Right. I agree with you, but then the rest of the family that's mad, it's like, go talk to Susie.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're mad about it, put it on Susie.
Yeah,
honestly, you might be the asshole for roping everyone else into it.
That's his mistake. He should have just let her do her deal and tried to find a solution just for her instead of putting all the vegans on one table. Like, of course, everybody else is gonna be like, hey man, curious what was going on there. I can't sit with my wife.
You could tell later on in this Reddit thread where he starts calling them the vegans. It's almost like a slur.
It breaks him.
He's like, these people sit alone. You know, he's like absolutely segregating the vegans from everyone else, which I guess it can feel like that, but it's only the vegan's fault. The vegan girl who said, I can't sit with anyone eating meat. It's like, okay, well, if you don't want to have a full table, we talked about this earlier in the show, these one seat, you can't have like a full table and only have one person sitting there with the rest of the seats empty because of her issue. That's
Give her a table
issue.
by herself and send her the link to the party crashers to fill it out.
Exactly. Where it's like, you fill this table with, no, but that's the thing. She would have to fill it with other vegans. So that's the same solution. This is vegans that are already invited to the wedding and they know them. The only option is if they want her to show up, it's sit all the vegans together.
Who knows that many vegans?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just heard one of my family members just gave me the advice of when you get married, you have to remember you're marrying the family as well as the person. And
Yes.
this person chose the wrong family to
Yeah,
marry into.
a vegan family. That's pretty rough. Could you imagine Thanksgiving dinner with these people? What are you having? Tofurkey? It sucks.
Lawn clippings.
Anyway, thank you for scrolling along with me today. I had a ton of fun. You can follow me on social media at Hayley Carania, and don't go anywhere because Sean Farish Live is up next.